A number of new features have been introduced in the latest release of SAP Lumira to improve usability. Let's take a few minutes to review these features. As of this release, we can now prevent columns that include specific keywords from being automatically proposed as measures when we acquire a dataset. We can configure these settings in the enrichment_suggestions text file. There's a new feeder panel position option on the Charts tab of the Application Preferences that enables us to position the chart feeder either to the left or the right of the visualization. On the Datasets tab of the Preferences, we can enable an option to display related visualizations and allow influence analysis. A large number of new JDBC drivers are now supported in SAP Lumira 1.17 to enable us to acquire and explore data from a wide range of data sources. In addition, a new external data source extension is also available that allows third-party developers to create drivers for other data sources. The GeoMap chart now supports advanced visualizations using Esri base maps. Data can be visualized on up to 5 different map layers. To use these enhanced visualization features, we need to define the credentials for an Esri ArcGIS account in the GeoMap Service tab of the Application Preferences. The new Copy from Clipboard source type enables us to copy tabular data from websites and other non-database sources, and then format and acquire the data as a dataset. Options for acquiring the data include trimming spaces and rows, selecting a delimiter or setting the columns as fixed width, setting the first row as column headers, defining number and date formats, and specifying a table format of vertical or cross table. Connections to SAP BW are now supported, enabling us to select BEX queries and info providers as data sources. Support for relational universes has been extended to include the legacy UNV format. We can now acquire data from multiple Excel or CSV documents at once. The data in each document must be of the same data type and structure. Keep in mind that when acquiring data from multiple Excel documents, only the first spreadsheet of each document is considered for acquisition. New advanced options are available when acquiring data from an Excel or CSV file that enable us to choose a subset of rows and/or columns of data and specify that the source data is formatted as either a vertical table or a cross table. When merging datasets, new options allow us to merge on composite keys, define one-to-many relationships, and specify a left outer join, which is a vertical lookup, or an inner join, an intersection, between the datasets. SAP Lumira also provides suggestions on which keys to use. Custom hierarchies are now supported, enabling us to create hierarchies for dimensions of any type. We can now group dimension values by range or by selection. We can also edit previously created groups. The Related Visualizations panel in the Visualize workspace, which we activated in the Application Preferences, displays suggestions for alternative charts related to our current visualization, and identifies the dimensions that have the greatest influence over the measure values in the dataset. On the Visualize and Compose workspaces, there is no longer a Save button. We still need to save changes to the document itself, but visualizations and stories are saved automatically when they're created or modified. Above the Object Picker pane, a new set of buttons enables us to toggle to a facet view of the measures and dimensions in the dataset. The axis scale for a chart can now be changed from automatic to fixed, which allows us to specify the upper and lower values for the scale. We can copy a visualization from the visualization gallery and paste it into another application as a static image. We can also create a new dataset based on the data in the chart. When the original dataset is refreshed, the new dataset is refreshed as well. A new numeric point chart type enables us to display a single summarized measure. This visualization type is particularly useful when creating infographics in the Compose workspace. We can add totals and subtotals to table visualizations. We can also animate geography, bubble, and scatterplot visualizations to display as a sequence of snapshots, such as displaying results over time. In the Compose workspace, 2 new story types have been introduced: infographics and reports. With infographics, we can combine visualizations, text objects, images, pictograms, and shapes to present complex information simply and easily. With reports, we can create stories for large volume data, including interactive charts, sections, and input controls. In the Share workspace, we can now republish a dataset to SAP Explorer when publishing a dataset that has already been published using the same name and to the same location, by choosing to overwrite or create a new copy. Enhancements have also been introduced for integration with the other SAP Lumira editions. There's now single sign-on from the desktop to SAP Lumira server. Published stories can now be viewed from the SAP Fiori Launchpad. Stories saved to SAP Lumira Cloud can now be embedded in public web pages, and stories created using visualization extensions can also be published to both SAP Lumira Cloud and SAP Lumira Server. We can also now schedule the republishing of datasets to SAP Lumira Cloud using the SAP Lumira agent. Stories and datasets can also be published to the SAP Business Objects Business Intelligence platform to be viewed by other users. From the platform, stories can also then be made available on mobile devices. Integration is enabled by an add-on for the SAP Business Objects BI Platform 4.1 SP3 or higher and requires an SAP Lumira Server license. We've now reviewed the new features of SAP Lumira 1.17. Visit www.saplumira.com for more information and to download SAP Lumira free today.